Well, we have decided with our extra time here in the Azores now that we are going to check out yet another island. So we're going to get the anchor up and go to Sao Jorge, which is a neighboring island to Terceria, and their harbor, Velas, is about 55 miles away from here, so it's sunrise. Had to drag ourselves out of bed for this one this morning, but it is time to get the anchor up and head out of here.
On our way to Sao Jorge. You can hear the engines on right now. Unfortunately, I think it's going to stay on. We thought the grid files and the weather was showing that it could be 10 knots at the beginning, falling off to 5 knots or less. Today is the only day, though, that they're actually coming out of the north, so it would give us winds to actually sail there. Normally, they'd be right on our nose, so we'd be sailing into the wind. So this is the one opportunity that we actually have to kind of sail. So we're going to take advantage of it. We'll actually motor sail if we don't get any wind. Right now we're in the lee of Mount Brazil, so it is kind of blocking our wind. We hope that when we get around this point a little bit that something will kick in. But right now, if we look at the water, you can see it's pretty flat. There's really not sailing wind yet at this point. Hopefully we can turn the engine off for half of it. Because right now, now that we're back in Europe, fuel's expensive, man. So we're
Man, it's expensive.
Huh?
Man, it's expensive.
Ridiculous. We're used to the land of plenty of fossil fuel, and where things are actually pretty cheap. Now we're in that, $8 a gallon range for diesel. So, yeah, the thoughts of basically $8 an hour running it kind of drives me insane. So hopefully we can cut back and flip that off and use what this boat's made for, actually sail there a little bit. We've seen a lot of the island and love the island here, but it's time to see something a little bit new, and we'll just keep seeing as much as we possibly can of the Azores until the weather window to Ireland opens up.
Well, we seem to have found our wind. We're actually coasting along here right around 6 knots, heading towards Sao Jorge. We might have to turn the engine on again once we round the southeast edge of it, because then we're going to be heading northwest to get to our anchorage, and winds are kind of out of the northwest anyways, so we would start to head back into them. But right now is a pretty nice sail. The seas started out a little choppy once we got outside the harbor of Terceria. I think just the regular trades had picked them up as usual, and because the winds have died down, it was just kind of like a rolling mess there for a little bit, so we each kind of took our turn laying down in the salon for an hour to settle our stomachs. But the sun is starting to break through the haze a little bit, and oh my gosh, I wish we could go on the north coast of Sao Jorge again, especially in the day, because it's just these like sheer cliffs that drop off into the water, and they look so gorgeous. And unfortunately the camera is not doing it any kind of justice, so hopefully the haze clears off from there as well, and I can get a few better shots because it's so pretty. But we're really looking forward to getting there. I forgot that the anchorage we're going to be in has Pico in the background, so that will be our view, and it's just supposed to be such a green island and lush and earthy, so I think there'll be a lot to keep us busy there nature-wise. back on and we are headed right into the wind. Although now we are starting to cruise right along the coast and the sights here are just awesome in the truest sense of the word. So can't really be mad about that. Velas. I don't know if everyone's planning to go to Anchor or to the marina, but our friends Bill and Grace of Calico Skies actually just arrived there last night, and they said they spent like an hour trying to find a decent sandy spot to anchor their boat in. So it sounds like good anchoring spots are kind of far and few between there, so we're kind of hoping these other boats are going to the marina, because this guy back here is going like 7 knots, so he's obviously going to pass us. The boat ahead of us is going about 6.5 knots. We can't catch them right now, so who knows, maybe our 3.5-foot drop will just let us go right up on shore, because we got this luck to get there and not have a spot to drop the hook. Lost that race, so fingers crossed there is still a place for us to anchor when we get in. A little bit of a gloomy entrance to Velas here on Sao Jorge, but luckily we only see 2 boats at anchor, our friends Bill and Grace and another one, so hopefully that means there actually is going to be a spot for us to drop the hook. Oh man, well the other boats that was going ahead of us is going there now, but it's a big area. I think we'll be able to drop somewhere, might be in 50 feet of water, but we've done it before, so looking forward to putting the anchor down and relaxing with the beer. So Bill and Grace just picked us up with their dinghy, and their friend Philip that they've known here from taking the ferry over is doing something tonight. So in the meantime, we're just kind of checking out the town, looking for a place to have a drink, maybe a snack. So just doing some wandering and looking for a cool place to chill.
Really have to stop and
What a place is.
yeah, whether it's a food store or a laundromat.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And that's one of the honey ones? This one? Oh no, that's not honey. Oh no, it is. No.
This one is too, but it's from a different factory, but from people too. But I prefer this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that next.
So all these lines come from Pico?
Yeah.
Or all of the brandies? Or...
This one isn't. This one's from the main line.
What do we got? So trying a blackberry liquor here. I don't know if we're supposed to do the sniffy thing first, but...
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like Jess is more leaning towards staying. here.
It's good. It's sweet, but not too sweet.
It makes sense. I mean,
I'll have to have you take a sip. Time to try a new flavor of liquor. I'm gonna go for one from Pico this time. You guys don't have to stop talking whenever I do this. I think I'm gonna try another one.
We would definitely do that.
That's exactly.
This one here.
It's what you pick for.
It's made out of grapes and fruits.
700 podcasts on our board. We have like assassin people walking to the bathroom and that kind of thing, you know?
So back in Angra, I had a white wine with grapes made from Pico. Now I'm having kind of like a brandier porter sherry from Pico, and it smells a little like black licoricey, made of fruits. So
It wasn't like stereotypical like what you'd expect from someone in that.
again, very sweet. Definitely a sipping drink. Right now we are having a beautiful day here in the Azores, anchored in the town of Velas and Sao Jorge. The sun is out, there's hardly any clouds in the sky, just a light little breeze, and because we're at 38 degrees north, that can be kind of nice sometimes. Not as many opportunities to get in the water as we were having in the Caribbean. So Bill and Grace are going to come pick us up in their dinghy and take us out to the big Mont, I can't remember what the name of the one here is, for some swimming and snorkeling, which works really well because they have the 25 horsepower engine which can zip around anywhere. So at least if we don't have the winds to sail anywhere, it means that we're having gorgeous days here, and I'm gonna get outside and enjoy them. We are down a man. Grace decided to sit this one out, but we're gonna go to a new spot the guys haven't seen. There's supposed to be a lot of fish there. Probably some good views for me because I won't be in the water the whole time. So, let's go. Definitely lots of rocks down here. Let's hope there's fish too.
So what's for lunch today?
Oh look, we've got Aquaman in the boat.
That's right. That's my superhero strength.
Matt's just about ready to hop in. He's got to show some leg. Oh. He's sexy. Oh man, that was a lot of fun. I am so happy I got in, and it actually wasn't as cold as I thought it would be. Not really any colder than I get than being in the water in the Caribbean for 20 minutes or so. So I think the guys, they haven't gotten any more fish other than Matt's first one. But I think they're just kind of checking out the spot a little bit more. And then we might go to that spot back there for a little bit. The guys went there yesterday with Grace, and they said it was just a cool spot to be, great views. So Will's got another fish. Yummy!
We can feed all of
All right, here's a bucket. Everyone's getting in the dinghy at once.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, epic. I sound like a hipster, but incredible views here. Jess will turn around
I will.
and show it. Hard to get the scale. Hopefully you can see the birds and stuff flying just to get an idea of how massive these cliffs are. But it's really neat, just the geology of it, where you can see the different levels, the different ages going through here and all the stuff that's happened on these islands. Yeah, a lot of powerful forces going on.
The guys are back in the water right now. So far we don't know if there's gonna be a lot of fish, but just as they were saying, like the geography is really cool, all of the boulders and the rocks and your background when it's, oh my gosh, I can't even get the scale, but when it's just these huge like mountains and caverns and things that have been etched into this stone for millions of years, it's just a really cool spot to be. Crossing an ocean, didn't feel small on this planet. Sitting here in the spot makes me feel tiny. Well, the cold finally got to me, so I am back in the dinghy now, done for the day, and kind of wishing I had the opportunity for a hot shower, maybe boiling some water on the stove. I'm guessing the guys won't be too much longer, and as I look over Pico in the distance, it is just covered in clouds, dark and hazy, and there were some clouds starting to roll overhead, so I don't know if the weather is going to start turning on us in a minute. I think the day is probably almost done, but man, I'm so happy that I talked myself into coming out, into getting into this water, and now I'm really looking forward to getting out again and definitely going in those local pools that just, you know, have those like rocks and staircases that lead down to the water. Looking forward to getting back to the boat, cleaning up, and then going to shore with Matt, Bill, and Grace, and finally meeting their friend Philip. And just, I guess, we're hanging out at some like food stands, tents, cheap wine, cheap beer, never a bad time. So busy day for us today, actually. Here comes our ride, so it's time to go into town and start our nightly activities. At the moment, we're waiting for Philip to come get us, which is a friend of Bill and Grace that they met when they stayed at his bungalows here a few weeks ago after taking the ferry over from Horta. So we didn't quite get to his place last night. He was super busy. Apparently he's like always running around. So it's really cool that he's taking the time to take his friends, Bill and Grace, and their friends, us, out to his place to entertain us. So he's supposed to pick us up at the marina any minute, and then we're just gonna like chill out with some beer and wine and sandwiches tonight. and sangria. But Grace and I have found what's going to be like our new favorite hangout spot. This is the patio of like a hotel or hostel. So we're gonna get some wine, one of these nights, and just chill out here, wine and cheese,
Enjoy the view.
and then go in the pool. Probably not.
I got it last time and I hadn't forgotten it.
I'll get that.
I really need my sunglasses.
You'll help me with that.
Thank you, honey.
I'll solve that problem for you, don't worry.
So
Don't want it to spill at all.
what do the guys think of the sangria drafts?
It's actually not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
My
The taste
opinion.
is good.
Grace has
Taste
been
the
talking
fruit.
about these for weeks now.
$1. It was
You
$1, right?
Sparkling
Yeah,
sangria?
Tinto.
It's crap.
It's like a Tinto Verano.
They have a keg of this.
Impressive, right?
Yeah,
You made an
yeah, not
impression on
bad.
me. I called clouds.
So we've gotten to the town of Usalina. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. And we have found Grace's favorite drink of what I know it as Tinto Verano. It's like a red wine with like a fizziness added to it.
Sprite.
And, like a Sprite.
Yeah.
We had it in the Canaries and drank it all the time. But Philip was just telling us, or I should say through Bill and Grace, that there's going to be a big festival in town here in like about 2 days. And there's moorings and it's supposed to be really calm behind us here. So he's trying to get us to move our boats out to the spot, which is beautiful.
How cool would this be for the night?
And the bottom's supposed to be 5 to 6 meters sandy bottoms, so it could actually work out. So I think right now the four of us are just going to chill and drink Superbock and Tinto Verano and have some food. Just chill, and hopefully Philip will join us again later. I think we have found our sunset spot. We all took a glass on the road, walk up to this place where there's windmills and great views of Pico, and I think the town behind me here a bit too. And I just love this island. It's so green and everything is so pretty. It's so well kept. And I'm really, really glad that Bill and Grace had come here a few weeks ago by ferry, because I don't know that any of us would have just like made the stop here. It's not quite on the map, but we're kind of finding out it's the hidden treasure of the Azores.
Look at there's Pico. Am I like pinching it?
Not even close.
Not even close? Okay. So this is Pico right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful island. Look at the clouds behind us. This island actually has trees. They haven't deforested the whole place for cow pastures. So it's definitely a different feel on this island versus some of the other places that we've been. Just absolutely beautiful here.
Pretty delicious for $1.50. That's all I got for you. I haven't even taken a bite
were
yet.
you talking about the food or?
Or Matt. This is the center of our trip when we were here 2 weeks ago. We hung out at the bungalows down that way, and we drove here the first night, and we got some sandwiches and some beers, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Right?
Now we're back.
And like
Super cheap.
all of us, you get to this pretty spot, and all of a sudden you start planning your life living here. So we met them in Pico a couple of days later, and they were talking about like opening a bar in town here, and buying property, the hotel, renting a place for the summer. Basically, they had made themselves Azorean, which we did the same thing when we arrived in Horta last time. We started looking at property, and we thought we were going to be living there for the rest of our lives. It is one of those places. It's
Yeah.
incredible, absolutely
I mean,
incredible
look
for
at
that.
this. So these drinks here, all these were €1 piece. Sandwiches, $1.50. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So you can see why we all want to live here, and there's how could you not want that? Join us for the next episode of MJ Sailing, where as we went to re-anchor in the harbor, Our starter burned out, and we had no idea how we'd fix it. Delivering it to a local mechanic, we used the rest of the day to explore the shores and hidden treasures of Sao Jorge. Before being unexpectedly roped into a family dinner by a local friend.